الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. Once more, I appreciate very much your attendance this class. May Allah bless you, reward you. We are continuing on notes put to Traveler's Reliance book on Salik by the Keller. So we were at the page 910. We are going to continue. I will try to read the text and original, then try to explain. In short, there are hadiths, ahadith. نورد الشواهد التي أشرنا إليها من عمل الصحابة. The practice of Sahaba, we will bring what they did. وتصرف الرسول معهم, how the Prophet dealt with them. الحديث الأول, first hadith, ما رواه البخاري. Bukhari says, Bukhari Muslim, Imam Ahmad, from Abu Huraira. أن النبي, the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم قال, said لبلال, حضرة بلال, عند صلاة الفجر, about on related with the Fajr namaz, the Prophet said to Bilal, يا بلال حدثني بأرجع عمل عملته في الإسلام. O Bilal, عملته في الإسلام. You tell me the main act you did, hopefully for the best one, hoping best one for Islam. Which act you hoped was the most hopeful act you did in Islam? فإني سمعت دفن عليك في الجنة. I heard the taps of your feet, shoes, in Jannah. So, like the Prophet saw him ahead of time, Bilal was in Jannah and walking, going. Fantastic thing. So why? So the Prophet is asking how this happened, that you entered the paradise, kind of even before me. What is this? What did you do? The Prophet is asking Bilal Habashi. You know, Bilal Habashi is black person. When I was here in this country so many years ago, there was Afro-Americans called Bilalian. They had newspaper, magazine Bilalian. I have copies of that. First time in the history, they were like trying to be two groups, Warisuddin Muhammad group, the other group, Warisuddin Muhammad just was new leader pulling some of the people away from Louis Farrakhan's methodology. So the Bilali magazine. So, and MSA, Muslim Student Association, first MSA, is the ones who they got into educating these Afro-Americans in America to real Islam, throwing out chairs from the mosques, not meeting in, there were chairs in the mosques, not meeting only Sundays, like Friday was Sunday. So, no, it cannot be like that. There is a namaz, there is salah. What is it? This is the reading Quran, teaching Quran. And that time also, about a year, I was involved teaching them Quran in Philadelphia area. teaching them freely, teaching them Quran and was very much involved with them. And I was told Afro-Americans, more than 500,000 Muslims made Sunni Muslims, near Sunni Muslims, by MSA. First organization in this country. These MSA people, first ones, were real men. We need to put their 12, 13, 13 of them, their statues in the masjid, in the outside of the masjid. Salute when you get in, salute when you get out. Do you know? You don't know. You worship to this. Worship. You are not worshipping to Allah. You are not worshipping to Allah. Too harsh, but I am telling you, disloyal, does not know. Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Worship. Worship. You are worshipping to your nafs. You are worshipping to your shaitan. You are worshipping your hawa. You don't want to worship this guy? Tell someone else. I'm experienced enough. I know you enough. Sorry. ما عملت عملا بلال حبش ما عملت عملا أرجع عندي من أني لم أتطهر طهورا في ساعة من ليل أو نهار إلا صليت بذلك طهوري ما كتب لي. He said, Bilal said, I never did anything other than the following. Whenever I took a wudu, I washed myself, cleaned myself, tahur, okay? I said a prayer with that wudu which was prescribed to me. I never had any wudu without praying what is prescribed with it. So this is what it says. قال الحافظ ابن الحجر, page number 911. ابن حجر في الفتح, in the book of Fath. يستفاد منه جواز الاجتهاد في توقيت العبادة. One may benefit from this hadith about timing of worship. لأن بلالا, because Bilal توصل إلى ما ذكره بالاستنباط, he did whatever he did with istinbat, with deduction, with his ijtihad, his mental effort, understanding, privately, personal understanding, he did. فَصَوَّبَهُ الرَّسُولُ, the Prophet accepted it as a correct. ومثل هذا الحديث, هذا حديث خبيب البخاري, the other في البخاري, وفيه وهو أول من سن الصلاة, he is the one who established salah لكل مقتول, for each dead person who killed, صبرا ركعتين. فهذه الأحاديث صريحة في أن بلالا وخبيبا, بلال and خبيب, اجتهد في توقيت العبادة. They did ijtihad about the ibadah, ولم يسبق من الرسول أمر, but the Prophet didn't do anything before, didn't say anything before. It was new, innovative thing. ولا فعل إلا الطلب العام. Nobody did, the Prophet didn't do, but this was desire of the public. Another hadith, ما رواه البخاري ومسلم وغيرهما, Bukhari, Muslim and others narrated في كتاب الصلاة, in the book of Salah, في باب ربنا لك الحمد, about ربنا لك الحمد عن رفاعة بن رافع, كنا نصلي وراء النبي, we were praying behind the Prophet, فلما رفع رأسه, when he من الركعة, when he went back to stand tall after ruku, went back from ruku to up, the Prophet قال, he said سمع الله لمن حمده, he said سمع الله لمن حمده. قال رجل وراءه, somebody behind him, ربنا لك الحمد حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه. Somebody add this one among Jama'ah. What did he say? ربنا لك الحمد حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه. He added this one. Okay. فلما انصرف, when the Prophet finished his prayer, قال من المتكلم? He said, who was that person who said something in prayer, salah time? قال أنا. The person said, I am the one who talked, who said ربنا لك الحمد حمدا كثيرا. So قال رأيت بضعة وثلاثين ملاكا يبتدرونها أيهم يكتبها. The Prophet said the following: I saw 33, over 33 to 39. Could be 33, could be 39, and in between. Angels, the Prophet said. I saw 33 to 39 angels, يبتدرونها, were competing with each other. أيهم, which one of them يكتبها, will write down that one. He did not say to this person, what you were doing? Why you didn't keep quiet? He did not say. So, innovation. Our subject is Bidah. Prophet approved. He approved. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he approved. يبتدرون أيهما يكتب. قال الحافظ في الحد. Hafiz ibn Hajar al-Asqalani said in his book Fath al-Bari, I believe, يستدل به على جواز إحداث ذكر في الصلاة. This could be a dalil that it is jaiz to add zikr in salah غير مأسور, not narrated before. A zikr which not narrated before, إذا كان غير مخالف للمأسور, if that is not clashing with anything narrated before. So this shows it is jaiz to do that. It is jaiz to do that. وعلى جواز رفع الصوت بالذكر ما لم يشوش. Also, this shows dalil that it is jaiz to raise voice in salah as long as does not mess up other people's mind or recitation. So this is jaiz because somebody raised his voice. Now a comment about this. Always 25, 26 years I am here, I felt this difficulty. After salah, generally earlier I used to pray. I used to recite Quran. School students recite Quran after Zuhr prayer. there are always late comers who continue to prayer. So they are not happy. Why are you messing up with our mind? Wait. This is what they tell me many times. So they want Jama'ah, they want Imam, wait them to finish their salahs. So I kind of gave up reciting Quran, not to clash with these people. Sometimes I do a little bit, a few sentences with low voices. Still it continues. A new person comes from somewhere. So in his village there is no such tradition. So he says, what is this? Why? Of course, there are some people who protest sitting in front of mihrab. When I begin to read anything Quran, they stand up. Some of them, they throw a word, leaving. There are a few people, they do. So protest, they say that this is Bidah or something like that. This is a challenge in this type of big gathering. There are people who are not interested in listening to Imam, not interested in listening to Quran. Quran for them are not important. Recitation to Quran is not important. Their salah is important. Of course, there are groups who meet in a corner. They don't listen at all. They do their own thing. They are not, Imam's recitation is not important like that. It's a big challenge. Are you going to wait, or is Imam going to wait Jama'ah to finish everybody? Then that time they are going to pray Sunnah or somewhere. So they are leaving. So is Imam going to address Jama'ah? Or if I speak, if somebody speaks, it's okay after prayer. It's okay. Nobody tells, why are you speaking in the mihrab? But if I read Quran, that is not okay. Quran is innovation in their mind, Bidah, recitation of Quran. But speaking is not innovation. Whereas, what speaking? Is there anything better than Quran? If speaking is okay, why not reciting Quran? There is analogy. But people, they don't understand. So, a comment, side comment on the subject. Okay, then we are going to another third riwayah al-Bukhari min Kitab al-Tawheed. Bukhari in Kitab al-Tawheed an Aisha, from Aisha radiallahu anha. I am summarizing and skipping some, pulling some important part. بعث رجلا, Aisha said, أن النبي بعث رجلا على سرية. The Prophet sent a military unit under the leadership of some Sahabi. There are two military campaigns in in the life of Prophet Muhammad's time. One is Ghazwa like Gaza, fighting. He himself was commander. The other one is Sariya. Sariya, he sent a small detachment unit. Could be night time, because they are generally sent night time. Sariya Isra, night journey. Night time under the leadership of someone else. So he was not there. This is like small unit for intelligence purposes, or to do a special force in American military expression, special force. A small detachment trained for that. You go this way, do this way, do this way. Very, very important for military success. Intelligence is very important. You don't have intelligence, don't fight. You can be grilled. Intelligence must be, I was in military, intelligence must be about the enemy, their capability, their weapons. What are the military capability? They can grill you under the tree with ball-headed tree at the top of the mountain. At the back of it, there may be field artillery aimed you. They will grill you up, all your units. In military, there are two types of education. One is next to each other education. Line up, right turn, left turn, move back, go this way, all together. And war training, different, yeah? Not together. Why? Because if he is targeted, let others survive. Let others survive. That is why in old days, now they grill you from sky. They know your home, back home, watching from there. They know. They watch. In Washington, D.C., Pentagon, they watch who is getting in, how many people. Iraq time, Saddam Hussein time, where these weapons are moved. Okay? They saw an empty land, nothing, then a movement in that empty land, then next day a fence, next day somebody, two persons at front walking like that. It is there. Moved from somewhere, but now it is there. They know. They know. They grill. Grill you become lahm mashwi, grilled meat. Somebody will cry for you as shaheed. Allahu alam, were you shaheed or not shaheed? Allah knows. Allah knows. So, Syria, coming back to Syria, intelligence, information, anybody who does not hold ahead of time information about other things, all companies, all big banks, they have information center, they have intelligence unit. Yes. One of my relatives was working in that mobile intelligence unit in Ankara. Learns ahead of time which law will come, what will happen, acts accordingly. Because in one night, they may raise the tax, government may raise the tax. So in one night, you can lose 10 million. Your daily gas thing, imported, exported, in, out, daily is like 10, 15 million every day. Account, what we call giro in Turkish. Every day it is like that. So if you don't know, in one night you can lose 500,000. You can earn 500,000 by directing big ships enter to the border just 2 minutes before midnight, because decisions were made like that. Of course, no intelligence, gone. So Sariya. وكان يقرأ لأصحابه. So the Prophet assigned a person on Sariya. This person, وكان يقرأ لأصحابه في صلاته, he led the prayer, reciting in Salah, فيختم بقل هو الله أحد. He was finishing his recitation بقل هو الله أحد. فلما رجعوا, when they returned, ذكروا ذلك للنبي. Others reported to Prophet, this is the guy who was reading قل هو الله أحد each Salah, finishing like that. So reported to Prophet Muhammad, the other people. فقال سألوه. The Prophet said, ask him. Don't ask me, ask him. لأي شيء يصنع ذلك. Why he was doing like that. So, page number 912. فسألوه, they asked him, لأنها صفة الرحمن. He said, I recited that because قل هو الله أحد is describing Allah. رحمن. وأنا أحب أن أقرأ بها. I love that surah قل هو الله أحد too much. So فقال النبي, I love that surah, he said. The Prophet said, when he heard this one, أخبروه, you inform him, أن الله يحبه, Allah loves him too. So, this is not bid'ah. Is that bid'ah? So, ومع كل هذا, all of this, فلنعلم أن أحدا من العلماء, some of the scholars, one of the scholars, قال باستحباب ذلك, said, we know that this is mustahab. ولكنه لأن ما واظب عليه هو الأفضل. Whatever عند الرسول, whatever عليه الرسول فهو الأفضل. Whatever the Prophet insisted, did something, that is best. ولكن إقراره, but he is recognizing, didn't do himself but recognizing it, ما كان مثل ذلك من أوجه الطاعات والعبادات. That is also one of the ways of ibadah, ways and إطاعة, obedience to Allah. ولا يعتبر مثله حدثا مذموما. This cannot be considered innovation, bad new thing, cannot be. كما يتسابق المتشددون إلى التبديع والتضليل في الأفعال, as people who are very radicalist, they are claiming that this is bid'ah, this is dalala, fil af'al, this is gone astray, bid'ah, this is what they are saying. والأحاديث التي مرت كلها. These all ahadith في الصلاة, about salah, كما ترى, as you see, وهي أهم أعمال العبادات البدنية. This is most important worship, بدني worship, salah. This is related with salah. These are related with salah. وفيها قول الرسول, the Prophet said, صلوا كما رأيتموني أصلي. You pray as you see me, I am praying. ومع ذلك قبل هذا الاجتهاد قبل هذه الاجتهاد, أو this اجتهاد is accepted, اجتهاد of the أصحاب, لأنها لا تخرج عن الهيئة التي حددها الشارع, لا تخرج عن الهيئة التي حددها الشارع, لا تخرج both, okay? Because this is not outside of the borders Sharia established. Outside of the borders, Sharia fixed. فكل حد لا بد من الالتزام به. All limitations needs to be stuck to, needs to be followed. وما عدا ذلك, anything other than that, متسع is wide, soft, ما دام داخل في أصل المطلوب ما دام داخل, as long as it is in the principle, included in the principle, that is okay. هذه سنة الرسول وطريقته, this is the sunnah of Rasul and his way. وهذا في غاية الوضوح, this is very clean. ويؤخذ من هذا, from this it is understood that ما أصله العلماء أن كل عمل يشهد له الشرع من الطلب, any act which Sharia witnesses or has دليل ولم يصادم نصا, which does not conflict any text, تترتب عليه مفسدة, that there is mafsada, there is bad thing, فليس داخل في حدود البدعة, anything which is included in the main principles, anything which there is no dalil that is mafsada, there is corruption, there is bad thing, it is not included, new thing, it is not included in bid'ah, does not fall. بل هو من سنة, that is sunnah. وإن كان غيره أفضل, though other than that could be better, but still it is sunnah. Hadith al-ruqya, hadith related with ruqya. Ruqya like cure, dua, with prayers, dua, curing sickness. Rawahul Bukhari, Bukhari mentioned, this is fourth point, في أكثر من موضع من صحيحه, in many places in his Sahih. وهذا نصه في باب النفث في الرقية, about blowing in ruqya, reading dua and blowing, about that. This is عن أبي سعيد الخدري, Abu Sa'id Khudri, أن رهطا من أصحاب الرسول, a group from أصحاب الرسول, انطلقوا في سفرة, they were going to traveling somewhere, سافروها حتى نزلوا على حي من أحياء العرب, they ended up reaching to an Arab village in Arabic village. فاستضافوهم, they hosted them, these villagers. فابوا أن يضيفوهم, فاستضافوهم, sorry, they asked to be hosted. Can we stay here as your guest? فابوا, they declined أن يضيفوهم, to host them. فلدغ سيد ذلك الحي, فلدغ سيد ذلك الحي, that time the chief of that village was stuck by, beaten by snake or by scorpion, عقرب. So this is what happened that time. في رواية الترمذي, in according to Tirmizi, فسعوا له بكل شيء فلم ينفعه, they rushed to do something to cure this chief, but no avail, no use. So, page number 913. شيء فقال بعضهم لو أتيتم هؤلاء الرهطة الذي نزل بكم لعله يكون عند بعضهم شيء. They said that if you bring this group guests who are here, perhaps they might have something to cure this person. They did. فأتوهم فقالوا يا أيها الرهط. They said, oh visitors group, إن سيدنا لدغ, our chief was stuck by scorpion. فسعينا له بكل شيء. We tried everything. فهل عند أحدكم منه شيء? Is there anything anyone can do for curing? فقال بعضهم, some said, نعم, yeah, we have. والله إني لراقٍ, I can do dua by the name, by Allah. ولكن, but والله لقد استضفناكم فلم تضيفونا. But by the name of Allah, we asked you, why don't you host us? You rejected to host us too. فما أنا براق لكم. I am not going to do ruqya dua for curing. I'm not going to do, because this is what you did to us. حتى تجعلون جولا, until you give something, do something. If you do something, I will do. Otherwise, what history, what things happened? Who will analyze this case, for example, in detail, psychologically, socio-psychologically, that time? Why he said like that, why he said like that. These ayat in Quran, ahadith, not well analyzed, socio-psychological, civilizational context, not analyzed. We rush like that, not done, not done. Which village was that? Which day was that? Hajj time, we have been taken to the miqat, other miqat, and we have been taken to Hudaybiyah, to different places. It was hot, daytime, hot, and there's like bushes over there, and no water that much, a little water over there. You cannot get real wudu, and like that. Bathrooms were not enough for these people. And this is almost modern time. I said, La hawla wa la quwwata, how the Prophet, how the people negotiated here. Which tree? There is no tree over there. Bushes. Bushes are not tree. Is bush a tree? No, sir. Bush. No cow, no animal in my country will eat anything. The camels, yeah, I eat. Camels cannot find nothing. But in my village, it's different, sir. When you say tree, it is tree. When you say fruit, it is fruit. You can sit under and shade and enjoy and something, breeze and what? There is no breeze, nothing. Almost you are going to strangled. What is this? How did they sit over there? How did they fight? How did they argue? How did they write? Which paper? Which pen? I am Haji and I have pencil. Cannot find the paper all the time. How did they do? When you put yourself in their shoes, you say, La hawla wa la quwwata, how did they do? The picture, I read that 100 times in the books. I did not get that picture unless I went over there. I felt that heat, that hot, and no water. I said, what kind of, how are you going to fight? In military, you need to provide 100% to soldiers, everything perfect. They're tight. Their boots, one lace is like loose. No. Because they will run, that will become a problem. This guy will not run, will fall, you will lose him. Somebody will grab him, captivated, will pressure him, get information, they will grill you. Other units, big units. So, there is a danger, don't do it. Your talent, your education is not enough, your ammunition is not enough, don't do it. Why? You will lose it. But this is the modern military. Now, of course, from Air Force, from satellite, this is different. But normal conventional wars and everything. What I am saying, how did they fight? What was it? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was announcing, tomorrow we are going to fight enemy, and everybody is coming. To masjid? How did they walk? Did they walk two? Streets were all scattered. Who wrote military evaluation of Prophet's wars? Nobody in the history. Who wrote first time? Professor Hamidullah. Battlefields of Prophet Muhammad. In his book he says, I went to Saudi Arabia, I asked permission officially to visit battlefields myself, to visit, and scholarly write something, plan, and this is the cliff, this is what it is. The book says attacked, horses, camels attacked. They cannot attack, climb up to the cliff. The book says like that, so is that wrong? So there was no cliff at that time? What happened? It is military tactics are very important. You plan like that. It was morning time, it was this day, and they were west side, and they attacked to east side. Morning time. So, how they attacked? Sometimes you need to correct the book. Is that west, east? In that book is written east or west. So, to correct this, no permission. He had certain time, he said in his book, certain time, limited, so he will go back. So what he did, he asked a Haji, somebody, why don't you go with me? So he took him there. So they went. He drew the plans, and this is the cliff here. Allah, why the book says like that? Of course, history, Maghazi books, Waqidi, the other one says like that. So Tabari says like that. So then he said, I finished my job, came back to my hotel, I found no rejection. You cannot visit. Why? Because their grandfather's place, not Muslim place. Their grandfather's place. Somebody says to you like that. So, but he wrote The Battlefields of Prophet Muhammad, that interesting book. Anyhow, let us come to our subject. If there is mafsada, وَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ مِنْ عَمَلِ الرَّسُولِ نَصًا, even if it is not included, done by the Prophet, but if there is no mafsada, it falls in general principles of Sharia, there is no bid'ah. Fifth, if I hurry up, I may finish this. وفي البخاري في فضائل قل هو الله أحد. عن أبي سعيد الخدري. This is أبي سعيد الخدري. يقرأ قل هو الله أحد يرددها. He was Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. He was reciting قل هو الله أحد and repeating that surah. فلما أصبح morning time, somebody was reciting this surah قل هو الله أحد repeatedly. فلما أصبح جاء إلى النبي, he came to Prophet Muhammad وعليه فذكر له, he mentioned to him وكان الرجل يتقال لها. Then the Prophet, he said والذي نفسي بيده إنها لتعدل ثلث القرآن. The Prophet said that surah is equal to 1/3 of Quran. قل هو الله أحد. In my country, scholars, generally we request people recite 3 قل هو الله أحد. So 3 1/3, 3 1/3, whole Quran. Then Surah Al-Fatiha. Why? Because that is dua, that is best. Finish with dua. Also begin from beginning, because nothing will be left unbegun. When you finish something, you begin next thing. When you are cleaning your table tonight, you are going home, you finished. Next day's work you begin. First, do 1 line, if you are going to write or something, then go home. Don't finish anything without beginning new thing. Don't leave it without beginning new things. That is the rule. That is why Surah Al-Fatiha is important. Finish Quran, begin. Also Surah Al-Fatiha is dua, best one. Okay. وقد خرج الدارقطني. Daraqutni did takhrij, mentioned هذا الحديث بلفظه, this hadith. He said, إن لي جارا يقوم, I have a guest, a neighbor, not guest, a neighbor. I have a neighbor يقوم بالليل. He was doing قيام الليل, prayer, night time. فما يقرأ إلا بقل هو الله. He was not reading anything other than قل هو الله أحد. He said, وفي الحديث, this hadith إقرار الرسول, the Prophet recognizes, approves على هذا التخصيص, the thing, والاقتصار على هذا, just reading only Surah Al-Fatiha, so Surah Al-Ikhlas reading, the Prophet recognized that one, approved that one. في قيام الليل, in night prayer, مع ما فيه من التخصيص الذي لم يكن من عمله, though he didn't do himself, but he recognized, he acknowledged, accepted this one. وما كان عليه من عمل الرسول من القراءة بالقرآن كله, whatever the Prophet was doing like reading whole Quran, أفضل is better. من ذلك, from that, better than that. ولكن عمله, but his act, وما يشبهه, whatever similar is that, داخل في نطاق السنة, that is included in the circumference, in the circle of Sunnah. وليس فيه ما يذم, there is nothing to be blamed here. بل هو محمود على كل حال, this is praisable in all cases. Sixth hadith. روى أصحاب السنن, the people of the Sunan, the books, writers, وأحمد, Ahmad, وابن حبان في صحيح, in Sahih, he narrated عن عبد الله بن بريدة, Abdullah Abu Buraidah from his father, قال, he said, دخلت مع رسول الله المسجد, I entered with the Prophet, together with the Prophet, the masjid. فإذا رجل يصلي, somebody was praying namaz. يدعو, and he was praying, he was doing dua in his prayer. اللهم إني أسألك بأني أشهد أنك أنت الله لا إله إلا أنت الأحد الصمد الذي لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. He was reading this dua in Salah. The Prophet saw. والذي فقال النبي, the Prophet said, والذي نفسي بيده, I take oath by the one in whose hand is my soul, Al-Azam, باسمه الأعظم, which is great name, الذي إذا سأل به أعطى, لقد سأل الله, لقد سأل الله, this person with his dua, inni as'alu, I am asking, with his dua, he asked, the Prophet said, he asked Allah, باسمه الأعظم, which is Ismul Azam, great name. There is Ismul Azam concept in the Sifatullah. الذي إذا سأل به سئل به, if Allah asked with that word, with that Ismul Azam, أعطى, he will give. وإذا دعي به, if he is done dua with that Ismul Azam, ajaba, Allah will answer for that. وهذا, this is dua, أنشأه الصحابي, Sahabi himself created, put together this dua. Sahabi himself constructed. فما يظهر, فيما يظهر, this is what is understood. ولما كان مطابقا للمطلوب, because this was fitting to the purpose, أقره النبي, the Prophet recognized it, accepted it. Did إقرار بأعلى درجات الإقرار, with highest level إقرار, والرضا, highest level of pleasure. ولم يعلم أن الرسول علمه إياه. ولم يعلم, it is not known that the Prophet taught that to that person. We don't know. It was like innovated, but Prophet accepted. This is محرر من أدلة أهل السنة والجماعة بتقديم وتأخير. أهل السنة والجماعة, the books, they say like that. Let us conclude here today, inshallah.